Hello, my dear friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Yerushalayim, Jerusalem, Israel. This was a very, very auspicious Shabbos. This was the beginning of a new book of Torah, the book of Shemos. Now, Shemos has many things in it that are very important. We talked about one last week, the fact that a new Pharaoh arose who didn't remember Joseph. And whether he did remember him or he just didn't remember what he did for them is a matter of conjecture between the rabbis. So we're going to leave that where it is. Now we're going to get into something that's a little bit more, how can I say this? A little bit more pertinent to what's going on in the world today in just a few minutes. But I want to go through this first because it sets up what we're going to talk about. This was also the week of the burning bush. The bush that was burned but was not consumed. Okay? It was an important thing, and I want to read it to you because I don't want to make any mistakes on this, and then I want to explain to you something that's extremely important here. It says, Hashem said, for those of you who may not be Jewish, that means God, said, I have indeed seen the affliction of my people that is in Mitzrayim, that's Egypt, and I have heard its outcry because of its taskmasters, for I know its pains. I shall descend to rescue it from the hand of Mitzrayim, and to bring it up from the land to a good and spacious land. Okay. Why is it so important? What's Mitzrayim? The reason I use the Hebrew word instead of the English word is Egypt. It means nothing but an English word. Mitzrayim is another thing. In Hebrew, Metzer is straits. Things where you're in a tight confinement, where things are bothering you, where you're in a place of desperation, where things are very, very difficult, which is a lot like describing what the United States is today with the people there. Now, as you all have known, I've talked a little bit about politics in the past, maybe more than a little bit. But if you'll recall, I've never spoken specifically about a person by name or party. I gave you characteristics and let you figure out which is which, because I really think it's quite obvious to an intelligent person which is which. But today we're going to talk about even more than that. We're going to talk about specifics, because what's happened is in the last 48 hours, a lot of friends of mine, a lot of people I respect a great deal, have been taken off of social media by the social media companies. They have been basically banned. Free speech in America is now a thing of the past. And that's sad, because America is a shining light of democracy to all people around the world. That's why everybody comes there. You have a presidential candidate by the name of Joe Biden who says his first day in office, he's going to start taking down the wall on the southern border of America. Well, if he does that and anybody can come in and everybody will qualify for welfare payments, Section 8, Medicare, et cetera, where's the money going to come from? Oh, yes, it's going to come from you. It's going to come from all you fine people who work hard for a living, or at least try to work hard, except in the states where your governor won't allow you to go to work anymore. I'm sorry, I need to slow down, but I'm very excited about this, and you need to know what's going on. You need to know exactly what's going on. Where I have people out there who write me all the time say, well, I guess it's over, Rabbi. I mean, they certified the guy in Congress and all this horrible violence at the state capitol. Well, take a look to see these a little bit more carefully. The violence at the state capitol was caused by a group of troublemakers dressed in Antifa caps. And we know that because they brought their shields with them to bust in windows and to push their way past the guards, which is really, we know who they are. If you look very closely, you'll see a lot of Trump supporters trying to keep people from going into the buildings. However, they couldn't do that. You know why they couldn't do that? Again, look at the CDs. Because the Capitol Police, who were there in such small numbers, it was absolutely ridiculous considering what was going on. First of all, removed the barricades to let them through. Second of all, told them, come on. When they got in the building, told them, go up to the second floor. They guided them. This is clear. It's on video. Look at it. Don't trust me. Trust your own eyes and see what happened. This is what happened there. There were not many guards there because this was planned. It was a setup. It was a setup in a way that we know that they just wanted to catch the Trump people doing something bad so they could say, what a bad person is Trump. Now imagine he said nothing that was inflammatory. He did not tell them go storm the Capitol and take it over. As a matter of fact, he specifically said everything about peace. Peace. He said it not once, but several times. However, you would never guess that because the lamestream media has said that he incited the riot, and they tried to get him on the 25th Amendment, get him out of office, and then they couldn't do that, so now they're talking about another impeachment. Now, you're all intelligent people, so I'm going to ask you some questions. One, why in the name of heaven, if you did nothing wrong, would you have any problem with somebody going through the records and checking them? If you did nothing wrong, there's nothing for them to check. They keep saying there's no fraud. Fine, let us audit them, and we'll find out. If we agree, then we move on. Everybody moves on in peace. But they won't do that. And they won't do that because there's ample proof of fraud. Second question. The man who is the President of the United States today, Donald John Trump, is going to be out in 10 days, according to what they think. And if that's the case, why do you feel the need to throw him out 10 days before he leaves? He'll go out peacefully. He said he'll have a peaceful transition because they know what he has on them. And what he's got on them is a lot. And when they went into the storm the Capitol, there were people who are members of special forces who snuck in with them, and they took several of the Congress people's and senators' laptops. Now, they're all the same laptop, basically. They say the same thing, it's just a different login. However, they're going over it right now to find out all the things that they've done. This is treason. It's not just an election fraud, it's treason. And the United States is the last shining bastion of hope for all people who want freedom in the world. If it goes, the rest of the world can't stand. Who's going to be the one to lead them? England, France, Germany, Italy. Oh, speaking of Italy, we just got a confession of a high-up-ranking official in Italy who admits to having played with the elections. However, those who say he couldn't have done it by himself, it had to have been done through China. Also, there are those who say not only did he do it, but England's MI6 was a part of it, France was a part of it, Germany was a part of it. They were all a part of it. They were all part and parcel to getting Trump out. Why would they do this? Why would they do this to a NATO ally? Because they don't like him. Simple answer. Let's make it a little bit more. Why don't they like him? Because he won't lie down and play dead for all of them. They want somebody who will. And everybody knows Joe Biden has no brain left. He's strictly a puppet saying the words that are given to him in written form to say. And that's what he's doing. And that's all he can do. He has no ability to do this. We all know that the plan probably is, if he gets into office, which I doubt seriously he will. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. If he gets into office, he won't be there long, and Kamala Harris will take over, and she's your worst nightmare. Look what she did in California. She was racist, considering she's a black person who's really not a black person. But she was very racist in the things that she did, as far as putting young black men in jail for almost nothing, for doing no more than what she confessed she did herself, and keeping them there longer than what their sentences were. So you understand why they don't want President Trump to be president, because if he is president, all this stuff will come out in the next 4 years, which it will, I promise you. Now, the reason I say all this is because the people who have been saying to me, how can we do this? We only have so-and-so days left. Well, that's not very much. Okay, well, what did Hashem say? What did he say to Moshe Rabbeinu? He said, I will take you out. I have heard your cries. I know how miserable your people are, and tell them I'm coming to help them. And then what happened? Then Pharaoh decided he wasn't going to give them straw to make bricks anymore. And they cried even more. And God was cried to by Moshe. And Moshe said, what have you done? You made their life even worse. And God said to Moshe, yes, it looks that way for right now. But I will take them out, and I will fulfill my promise. So it looks worse right now, but God will fulfill his promise. How could he possibly do it in such a short period of time? Well, I don't know. It says in Torah that he created heaven and earth in 1 day. 1 day, heavens and earth. Now, I want you to think about, what does this encompass? It encompasses all of the universe, all of the planet, everything that's on it. He put everything. He put the people on there, he put the animals on there, but the heaven and the earth. And he did it in 1 day. So do you suppose he could do something to help a situation that looks impossible in a week, 3 days, one day. Think about that. Think very carefully about that. You have someone about to come into office, and they're fighting so hard because they know they did wrong. They know they've been caught, and they know that as long as this man is president, Donald Trump, they're going to get caught. They're going to get caught, and they are going to get caught. But how? I'll tell you how. I don't know how. Doesn't matter. I don't know how. I don't know. Do you know that your body works every morning when you get up? Your lungs breathe, your heart beats. We've been over this before. It's all happened. Do you know how? Unless you're a doctor, probably not. But you know they do, and you're grateful that they do. They work, and you don't need to know how. You just need to appreciate them. And that's what you need to do now. You need to appreciate Hashem for all he's done for you and all he will do for you. Look outside in the morning. Did you notice this morning that the sun seemed to rise, in our terms, in the east? Every morning it does that. It's done that for thousands of years. And we never questioned it. I think we'd all be a bit concerned if it didn't. Do we know how that happens? If you're an astronomer, you probably do. A physicist, you might know that. But otherwise, you probably have no idea. Neither do I. Does it matter? You don't know why. You don't know how. Of course it doesn't matter. And that's where we are right now. How's it going to happen? I don't know how it's going to happen. I put my faith in Hashem. Because the one thing that is a missing ingredient in everything we do is belief. I have people ask me all the time, Rabbi, I pray for this, I pray for that, this doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. I say to them, well, do you believe it'll happen? Well, I hope so. I said, no, that's not what I asked. I said, do you believe it will happen? Well, I figure, what have I got to lose? Again, not the answer I was hoping for. You see, if you don't believe it, why should Hashem give it to you? Why should he waste his time if you don't have the belief that this is going to happen? Now, don't get me wrong. You will not get everything you pray for. But the things that you pray for and fit into his plan, that is another story. And that's what we're talking about here. These things that fit into his plan. I don't believe that the creator of the universe wants someone to take over the last bastion of freedom in the entire planet away from a man who's been bringing the United States up in morality and helping Israel with his support. He's done everything that he's supposed to have done. You think Hashem will take him out? Anything could happen. He could, that's possible. And if he does, there's a reason he does that. But I don't think so. And I don't think you should think so either. It's coming. It's all coming. They keep saying the storm is coming. Well, the storm is here, friends. They're banning people from social media who don't agree with their opinions. They're banning people. They're banning Parler, which is a social media site that is not Facebook, because so many people left Facebook and went to it. They're trying to try and ban it. Is this the kind of world we want to live in? If not, we need to do what we can do. We need to support the people who are pushing. We need to make sure the people we support are the people who are pushing for the right direction. Time for us to stand up. Time for us to keep our faith. Do not lose it now, even as times look darkest. Remember what Hashem said to Moshe Rabbeinu out of the burning bush. I will relieve them of this pain. I will help them. I will come. And at the end, even though it didn't seem like it was going to happen, he once again reaffirmed he would. And as we all know, he did take the children of Israel out of Egypt. So, that having been said, you should have a great Sunday today, a great week ahead. Shavua Tov. All my friends, I love you dearly. Keep your faith, stand strong, and do what is necessary in order to make sure that everything comes out the way Hashem wants it to come, because he requires your help as well. All the best, my friends. God bless.